Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very well, guys. We are back with a match preview, the first one of the Premier League, the first game coming up against Crystal Palace. And joining me today is D. Good to see you, mate. It's been a while since we last spoke. I'm trying to think the last game. That was before we drew 1-1, wasn't it? D does the back of the net. Nest Crystal Palace channel, so go and check him out. I'll leave a link down below in the description. But yeah, mate, listen, it's been a pretty interesting 12 months for both of us. I mean, Chelsea have just always in the news for God knows what reasons, but I've seen Palace. There's a lot of talking points about Palace. Like I saw the TalkSport interview with one of your owners, or ex-owners. Obviously, what's happened with Europa League, the Cup, the Community Shield. It's looking it's very good times for you guys.
Yeah, apart from the Europa League situation, it's been crazy. The last 3 months or so, winning the FA Cup, beating City, even the Community Shield, beating Liverpool, who were the champions of last season, and you strengthened the squad. Got very good, good attackers, and how we performed in the second half. I mean, no one would have imagined this about a year ago. Palace winning the Community Shield and the FA Cup. We've managed to do that. We're going to be playing in European football. The only downside really has been the fact that, I still believe we were wrongfully demoted to the Conference League because we, forget about the deadline and everything else that goes on. We just never really operated like a multi-club model under John Textor, who doesn't even own the football club right now. As I've said, we've won the FA Cup, but it seems like league positions matter more because I think Lyon finished around 6th in the league. So they hold, apparently they get advantage. So that's the reason why they're there. But look, for me, it was a win-win situation in terms of I'm going to be seeing Palace play in Europe, which I've never seen before. And as I've said a year ago, I would have never imagined that. So I'm happy with that. But I think for the club, they're hurt. And I would have rather played in the Europa League. Don't get me wrong, 100%. But I think the club are hurt by how everything unfolded, because I think what the club are basically saying is that if it was one of the top 6 clubs, would UEFA found a compromise or would UEFA make understanding? I feel like we made an example about this multi-club ownership model where we've only done one transaction between John Textor's multiple clubs, and that was Jacob O'Brien going to Lyon. Apart from that, we haven't benefited. We don't use the same scouting systems. We just simply don't benefit from the multi-club model because Steve Parish runs a club day to day, who has a decisive influence, by the way, which was an issue with John Textor. We just got, I feel like, wrong or harshly done by based on the March 1st deadline, which by then, who would have known that Palace was winning the FA Cup? We were just facing Millwall on that day. I think on what round? The 4th round or 5th round?
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
There's an element of common sense where, I mean, I heard about the whole email thing. Basically, the wrong email was given, and that's how it will happen. I mean, that's a massive fuck up. But at the same time, can you wait for not just use your sense? Like, obviously, the club are going to want to work with you and all the rest of it. So it does seem really harsh, I'll be honest, mate. But I will say this, because we were in the Conference League. I think that you, as a club, you have to take a lot of positives now that you're here, and just look forward, man. This is a competition that if you really look at the history of it, we obviously won it. West Ham won it. Like, Palace can win the Conference League. I don't see any reason with the squad that you have right now why you can't go out and compete in all those competitions, especially on like an individual game-by-game basis. When you look at some of the teams that you would have never even heard of, you play against them. Yeah. The only worry that I'd have for Palace is if you've got a Premier League game on a Sunday and then you're playing on Thursday again, it's more the recovery, the squad depth, and basically just keeping all of your players fit. If you can do that, you'll be fine. But if you have the chance to go, I don't know, do you go to many of the games, D, or not really?
Yeah, I do. But I can't go to the playoff round because due to work reasons. Right. But yeah, I mean, for the home tie next week. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh shit, you got the playoff round. So you haven't actually automatically qualified yet?
No one. I don't think you lot qualified last year as well. I think
no, we had to play cfctvyt. I remember we almost lost.
Yeah. We're playing a team called Fredrikstad. Most likely because I think they're losing 3-1 to Midtjylland on aggregate based on the first leg. So we'll face them. Which I know some people already booked their accommodation for their away game. But the first game's at Sellers Park. I'm looking forward to that. As I've said about a year ago, I would have loved Palace to play in Europe. Just forget about FA Cup. This is all Europe to me is a bonus, but it's an amazing bonus. We should be in the Europa League. I still believe that. I feel like common sense, as you mentioned, should have prevailed. But FA Cup, Community Shield, and playing in Europe, we just need to sign a few players, as you mentioned, for depth reasons. But I think our first starting 11 is strong enough to compete all the way, and we've got a manager that's won the Europa League as well before. So he's got experience managing Europe. So as long as we back him and find ideally 3 players or so, because I don't think we need that much. I think we're in a good position, and there's a lot to look forward to as long as the window gets shut sooner rather than later, because there's a lot of players that's linked with a move away from the club. Yeah.
Do you know what? I've said this once before. I'll say it again. My prediction, and this is only if things work out the way I'm saying they will. If Arteta doesn't perform at Arsenal this year, I think Oliver Glasner will replace him. I really think that he is the next manager that's in line to get one of those jobs. You look at Thomas Frank, for example, and you say, right, he's stable, but Glasner is just taking you to the next level, mate. And in fairness, you need the players to do it, but he has made players that were all right, significantly better. And I didn't watch the Liverpool game because obviously I was at the Chelsea when we were playing Milan in pre-season. But I was at Paddington. I saw a few sad Liverpool fans on the side. I went to the sushi place and I was like, "Oh, you've had a tough day." Oh, it was great. And I spoke to a Liverpool fan and they were like, they just said, "Fair play to Palace." Like they were pretty, they were humbled. I mean, they weren't even, they weren't that gutted about it in the sense of their own team letting them down. They felt like you guys actually deserved it. So, hey, I mean, I saw the highlights, but I didn't watch the game. So, I mean, what talk to me about that, because that's going to give you another boost. And I mean, I've spoken with a few Chelsea fans who have said that you guys will be hungover after the Community Shield, and I was like, nah. But they were like, think about it. It's like another trophy. And I said, it's actually a very fair point. But I don't look at it as a negative for you. That's just another boost.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've seen Oliver Glasner's comments after the game in the dressing room, and he did mention, he said, after the FA Cup game, you had a few days off, but this one, you're going to be in tomorrow, but not in the morning, in the afternoon. I think it's more of a boost rather than a hangover, because, I mean, this whole calendar year, I think in 2025, I've seen a stat that if you don't include preseason, we've only lost 5 games. Wow. So we've been on decent record. Of course, we've done well with the FA Cup as well. And this manager, and he means it as well, and I've seen it firsthand, and he backs up his statement, he wants to win every single game. That's his approach. And he's not going to be looking at this game saying, "Oh, Chelsea away from home, we won the Community Shield, we'll take a draw." He just doesn't. Maybe us Palace fans, we might think like that, but this manager has high demands, and these players like those demands. And there's a good connection between the manager and the players as well. So it's business as normal. We're looking forward to this game as a way to start the season strong. It's not going to be an easy game. Of course, you lot won the Club World Cup and you've signed some fantastic players, but Liverpool weren't going to be easy either. And they signed a lot of attackers and even midfielders as well. We saw Wirtz, TK, etc. And in the first half, there were quality, especially the first 10, 15 minutes. And in the second half, I was very surprised by Palace's reaction. I felt we controlled possession and slowed Liverpool down, and we should have won the game in normal time, which I never thought I'd say based on how we started the game. So I think it'll be business as normal. And these group of players last year, I mean, we started the season very slow. We didn't win a game up until game week 9. So we don't want to repeat the same mistakes. And the main advantage of going into this game, I think we faced it early on last season as well. Was it early on? I think it was. Did we face it August last year at Stamford Bridge?
It was relatively early. That was when I think Jackson scored, and I can't remember who scored for you. That was another 1-1. Yeah. Eze scored a really good goal. Yes.
Yeah. But we shouldn't really got anything out of that game. I think we struggled for that for the majority of the game. But start of the season was very slow, and we don't want to repeat the same mistakes. The positive about this preseason compared to last preseason is that you saw it with the Community Shield squad. It was the same squad as FA Cup squad. So players that come back on time in preseason. Last year, Euros kind of messed us up. 4 players for Palace were in the Euro squad, so they came about 2 weeks before. Mateta went Olympics. We had Colombian lot who was at the Copa America, so they came late, etc. This year, we've had a good preseason. We signed 1 or 2 players. Soso, who came on against Liverpool, is a left wing back. And we should be, and we looked ready against Liverpool, so we should be ready for the first game of the season, which we wasn't for a few months last season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at your squad and I see a lot of players, a lot of good players. I mean, we were linked with Adam Wharton at one point. You ended up almost beating us. And to be fair, it's probably the best move of his career, just because he had that guarantee of playing time at Palace. But I mean, midfield's looking good. Love what I see from Mateta as well. He's a good striker again, like he's been spoken about before we signed the Lap and João Pedro. All across your squad, there's players that strike interest from other teams, but it does look like Marc Guehi's going to go. I mean, he's going to go, and they're saying it's Liverpool as well, which is crazy to me because Chelsea. I mean, Levi Colwill just got injured, mate. He's got a really bad injury. He's going to be out probably the majority of the season, if I'm honest, at least 6 months. And we've got Fofana, who's our best defender when he's fit, never fit. Badia Shield, underwhelming. We just signed Hato from Ajax, who looks great, but he's really cover for the left side with Cucurella. So I would love us to go straight in there for Marc Guehi and get him at a cutthroat price. We also have a 15% sell-on clause as well, which I don't know if it means anything that we can just negotiate a lower fee because we would get money out of any other transfer regardless. But I mean, what's your take on Marc Guehi as a player, like his time at Palace and how he's evolved?
Oh, he's a fantastic player. And it's complicated because Steve Parish came out after the Liverpool game saying that we can't really lose him for free, which I felt like kind of mess up the negotiation side of things, probably just going out on public saying that. Because, I mean, now that you said that, then, of course, the likes of Liverpool are going to be like, if you don't want to lose him for free, then we'll give you £30 million rather than the 45-50 million that you're demanding. But it's complicated because yesterday, everyone was leaving Crystal Palace. Today, all the reports are saying, you know what? They're not leaving Crystal Palace. The Guehi report suggesting that, well, we found out yesterday, according to some reports, saying that, Glazer would rather Guehi stay for another year, leave for free. And Guehi's whole stance has been that he's not going to demand a move away from Crystal Palace. He's happy to stay for another year. He's open to a move, but he's also happy to stay for another year. I think 2 things play into that. One is the World Cup year. So he's guaranteed to start at Crystal Palace. He's been starting for England as well. If he also moves to another club like Liverpool, how much game time is he going to have? And based on that, there's a report that's come out today saying that Crystal Palace are not as close as people said that they were in terms of negotiations with Liverpool around the 35 million figure. Apparently, we want more. And also, Guehi wants assurances. So it's not as close as it seems. And I think he's underrated at times. The way when I speak to some people about Guehi, they're saying, oh, would he go into that team? Would he go into that team? I think he's a fantastic player. He plays a very important role in terms of playing out from the back. How good he is on the ball is unreal. He can go past 2-3 players by dribbling to beat the press and open up space. He's very good off the ball. I know he's not the tallest player, but I mean, he was very good with his aerial duels against Liverpool on Sunday.
That's the criticism I've heard before, that he's not great in the air.
Yeah, he's not great in the air. He's not Van Dijk, but he's also not a terrible player in the air either. So, he's a very good defender on going one-on-one. And, he is our best defender and has been. He's the captain of our team as well. And whenever he's played for England, I don't think he's looked bad either. So when you're talking about making a step up, I think he's ready for that. He's got experience playing in the Premier League. He's got experience before even joining Palace, playing first team football. So I think he's a very good player. But I think, and before yesterday anyways, I thought that Guehi would stay at the club and leave for free next year, but the club don't want that to happen. So I don't know what is exactly going to happen, because if he leaves for free next year, the ball's in his court. He's going to get more money in terms of wages because, there's no transfer fee involved, so he can negotiate a bit better with that. and he can pick his next destination. There's talks about maybe Barcelona or Juventus going in for him next year. So there might be other options apart from the Liverpool. And I'm surprised about Chelsea not getting involved.
I'm surprised as well, mate. I am. I'm shocked because I think he's a top player. I think that out of all of our centre backs, the only player that I've put alongside Guehi is Chalobah. I think I honestly look at them as similar level.
I'm sorry. I think Guehi's way better than We've seen Chalobah. I don't know if Chalobah's better than Chris Richards.
Come on, mate. Come on.
No, I'm telling you, if Chalobah was at our squad, I don't know if we're winning the FA Cup.
Oh, come on, mate. Come on.
I'm telling you based on what I saw. I'm telling you based on what I saw.
Chalobah was good at Palace, I thought. I watched a couple of games.
He was good, but we've got a lot of loan players from you in the past, and I've said it after a few months. I was like, we have to buy this player. With Chalobah, genuinely, even today, if you offered him to Palace, I wouldn't want him.
Oh, come on. That's so hard.
But that's how I feel. It's not only me. I've seen other Palace say the same thing.
For pennies. We wanted like 20 million for him at one point.
He's got mistakes in him. He's got mistakes in him. He's not a bad player, but he's got a mistake in him in every few other games. I've noticed that when Chalobah left and Chris Richards came in, we improved as a team. The only difference was we lost depth. I'm not joking. Like Chalobah, to me, based on what I saw at Crystal Palace, I would have liked to sign him because I think you can do much more better with that money. We signed Guehi for £20 million.
By the way, again, like I'm not sitting here saying that they're a million miles apart, but I look at them like that. I couldn't sit here and say that Guehi just kicks Chalobah out of the team. I couldn't say that. Like on his best day, Fofana's our best defender. He is, but or our best centre back. Cucurella's our best defender, but he's never available, right? So I guess maybe I'm looking at it from a number of factors. Obviously, I've seen Chalobah playing for Chelsea for a long time. I've watched Marc Guehi. I thought he was brilliant for England. Thought he was one of our best players at the Euros. I was there in Berlin for the final. Like I loved him for England. To be fair, I think they're both underrated. I mean that's the truth. I think they're both underrated. I'd probably say that Chalobah's more underrated than Guehi, but listen, it's at a point now in his career where he's 25, 26. And it's time for him to move to the next level. And in fairness to Palace, they're giving him the opportunity of being able to play European football. So it's not like it's another season missing out. So I wouldn't have anything against him wanting to stay. But yeah, I just think it's crazy that we're not looking at him. And I mean, I know Eze as well is another player that's being linked. I saw Tottenham that they've been linked with him as well as Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal, they're not serious. I was worried about Eze going to Arsenal, let's say at the start of July, because I was like, he's got a release clause. If they really want him, they're going to go buy him. And I think this is decent price. I don't know what you think about Madueke, but if Madueke is going for around £50 million, £68 million.
Eze is definitely worth more than Madueke. Yeah,
and Eze's release clause is £68 million, so it's not like crazy difference from Madueke. And I think
that's a fair price, I think.
Yeah, so I felt like Arsenal would be after him, but it's gone on and on and on to the point now we're hearing they have to sell before they buy. I've heard Arsenal fans try to say that we don't want to pay £68 million. We can negotiate a lower fee for him, which I don't know why they think that. I don't know what past indication is. I mean, you've seen it with the Elise situation. Like Palace are very hard negotiators. We're not going to want to lose our players for cheaper than they're worth. And I think £68 million, considering there's a percentage of that going back to QPR, is a fair price for Eze. But I've seen this already with Arsenal before. If it was any other club, let's say even like a Chelsea or just any other top 6 clubs apart from Spurs and Arsenal, I'll put them in the same bracket in this regard. I'll say, he's 100% gone. But we've reached a point where his release clause expires in about 2 days or 3 days.
Oh, only 2 days. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think it expires on Friday. Yeah.
And how many years has he got left?
I don't know exactly. I think he's got like 2 more years left after this. So next year will be his last year. But with Eze, what we've heard as well is similar with Guehi. He's open to staying for another year, but he's also open to a move as well. It's not like we're going to see with Isak's situation of him not turning up to training. Like Guehi's training today. He's been in training. And I think Eze training as well. And they're all preparing for the game on Sunday. So it's a case of if teams match the valuation of Palace's demands, then we'll sell him. But with Eze, we're not as concerned in terms of losing him because one, it's out of our hands if their match release clause goes, and two, he's got a longer year. He's got more years left in his contract. With Guehi, it's now a possibility that we lose him for free, which I don't know if Palace want to do. With Eze, it's like we'll be happy to keep him and potentially sell Guehi because it makes more sense. But yeah, Spurs are after him. Spurs have been after, well, they were after Zaha for numerous of years, which it never worked out. We've never sold any players to Spurs. But as I said, release clause is there. If they've won him, they can have him. But we've seen it with Spurs. They love to be, negotiating for days with Daniel Levy, and Arsenal the same. So only time will tell. But for now, I think he should be there Sunday.
I mean, Chelsea, we're doing a bit of the negotiations at the moment. There's a lot of waiting with Garnacho and Simmons, but we've done so much business that, to be fair, I can't even complain. Like, if they both happen on deadline day, people will still complain because they'll go, "Oh, why didn't we get it done earlier for the first few games?" I'm like, guys, we managed to sell Broha and Ugochukwu for like 20 million each. I mean, that's crazy. To burn, like, we have sold so well. Just going back on that Eze point as well. Why the hell did Arsenal spend money on Madueke if now they can't afford Eze? That for me is just criminal. Much better player to have on that left-hand side, but hey, we'll see what happens.
Well, it doesn't sum up Arsenal. I think it sums up Arteta, because I always say this on all the streams. I think he's a freak of a manager where he just likes to think outside of the box. Like, let me get Havertz and let me transform him. I can see a few qualities. Like, he's gonna be that player for us. Or let me get Madueke. Like, he loves a Chelsea player. He loves a player which is. Well, I don't think Madueke.
That's not just Arteta though. That's Arsenal in general.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just like, for me, the reason why I don't think they end up getting him, because one, as I said, if they really wanted him, they would have got him by now. He's been linked for the last 2 months. It's because I can just see this is a perfect Arsenal excuse. Last year was we didn't have a striker. This year we didn't have a left winger or another number 10. I can see Arteta signing Madueke to play him down the left-hand side. I can see that. I mean, it won't shock me at all. And I think Arsenal fans are now getting worried because they're like, at first they were very confident he's joining. And he might still join. But there's so many excuses I'm hearing from Arsenal side of things saying, "Oh, we got Ranieri to a new contract. Oh, we actually need more of a left winger profile than what Eze can offer to us. Oh, we need to play." So yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna think that Madueke is the answer for them to win the league on the left hand side, and let's see. Apparently, he's been good in a couple of games that they played in preseason.
I'm loving this window so far. I don't really know too much about the business you guys have done, so just talk to me about. Have you done anything? I mean.
Yeah, a lot of Palace fans are upset about this, considering the fact that we won the FA Cup and now the Community Shield, and we've barely done anything. I don't think we need to do massive amounts of business, but we've spent around £2 million, which we spent way more under previous managers, under previous seasons with no European football. So in that regards, it makes no sense. But the biggest thing I think from Palace side of things is that, one, we owe a lot of money for past transfer fees based on C Parish. And two, the UEFA situation. I mean, we only found out on Monday after CAS that, was confirmed. And so there's a difference in revenue, like £20 million difference in terms of the Europa League and Conference League. But saying that, you'd think that we still have money regardless of European football, because we spent more even in years we didn't have European football. So we've signed Sosa from Ajax, who I actually believe he's going to be a good player for us in the system. He came on against Liverpool as well in the second, towards the end of the game. He's got very good left foot crosses into the box. And we signed Walter Benitez, which is a backup goalie, which is an improvement on Matt Turner. Apart from that, we haven't done much. But I think we still need to sign another centre-back, regardless of Guehi's situation, because us losing Chalobah, it made it very awkward because we just lost the depth. We had Chris Richards behind him and Chadi Riyad, who's now out. He's out injured. So we have no centre-backs. Apart from Lerma, you could play a centre-back. So we need another centre-back and potentially another number 10. So I think we need like 2 or 3 players, and we should be fine in terms of depth. But we should have done it maybe a bit earlier on in pre-season because of how Glasner likes to view things. So yeah, that's been a bit of a disappointment, to be fair.
No, I'm with you on that. I can't say the same thing. I'm fucking.
Yeah, you lot signed quality players. You signed quality players. You've done. I think with you, the biggest thing is that when the first project started and you're spending crazy amounts of money, it was like, first of all, how would you be able to sell some of these players in long-term contracts and whatever? But you made profit on like players that I never thought you would make profit on. You're a brilliant selling club, and I think for that reason, yeah, I think the future's bright. And also Club World Cup, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you think about Chelsea's chances in the Premier League this year, but last year, I know a lot of Chelsea fans didn't admit it, but up until December, you were up there. You were up there.
Yeah, mate. So yeah, give you a bit of context. I was loving life in December. In March, I wanted Maresca out.
Yeah, kind of lost it. But then again, have you got faith in him now?
Oh, 100%. You've got to forgive him. Yeah, people call it flip-flopping, and I say this is the reality of what I'm going through as a fan, because it's very different watching a game at home, sitting on the sofa and spending your money and traveling the country, traveling Europe, whatever. It's so different, mate, and the amount of emotion that goes into it. People see some of these games and they don't actually understand why I'm standing out there after, we've lost 3-0 to Brighton or whatever it is. And it's like, yeah, it's not just losing, it's the way you lose. And that's always been the problem that I've had, is the style at times. Now, the beauty of what we've done, in fairness, is we've backed Maresca really, really well, especially coming into this season. So we're going to be able to play better football because of it, and his system will work with better players, just like Guardiola. If he went to any other club and he doesn't have the same players, as City, it's obviously not going to look as good. It's not going to be as effective. So I think it's basically the same with Maresca. Another thing, he likes to rotate quite heavily in terms of keeping players fit. So if there's a 50% chance that a player can get injured, there's a 100% chance he won't play. I mean, that has always been the way we operated. Give you an example, in the Conference League final, we started Gusto over Reece James, and we always inverted our right backs, which we hate, or I hate. And Gusto can't do it. He can't do it. He can only overlap. And Gusto had one of the worst performances you'll ever see in a cup final. And then James come on in the second half, looked great, won the game, happy days. But it just goes to show, even in a cup final, like, he's not going to take any risks. But just going on to the game itself, I mean, I don't know how you're feeling about taking us on. I mean, you must feel very confident from a Palace perspective. I'm looking at Palace and I see a lot of threats. I don't see a world where Chelsea get a clean sheet. I see you scoring from somewhere, whether it's Eze, whether it's Mateta. Like, I can just see someone doing something. I don't even know if it would be a mistake from us. I just think that you've actually got enough quality to make things happen for yourself. I mean, how do you see the game playing out, and how do you think you'll approach the game as well?
How do I see the game playing out? Look, I don't know what to really expect from Chelsea. I think he signed a lot of players, and we kind of saw it with Liverpool as well. So I think you can tell me a bit better there. But you might need some time for some of these new players to gel, build up chemistry on the pitch. So could we see a case of that? I'm not too sure. As I've said, this summer I've kind of taken a break. I've enjoyed the FA Cup win. The Europa League situation has been nonsense. So I've been kind of enjoying the summer as much as I can. So I really didn't follow the Club World Cup. I'm not even going to lie, because I just felt like it was just too much football. Too much football. It's never ending. Like, the season just ended, Club World Cup. Then soon after that, normal football starts and whatever. It's like, well, what point to take a break? I want to enjoy it, so I just thought, let me take a break. So I haven't seen as much as you, but we should be ready on our side. The only doubt that we have from the Liverpool game in midfield is Daichi Kamada. I don't think he'll be fit because he picked up an injury, and we'll find out on Friday afternoon with Oliver Glasner what he says. But apart from that, we should have our strongest 11, albeit, let's see, with Guehi. As I mentioned, yesterday he was leaving 100%. Today he's not leaving, so it's hard to say, and Eze as well. But if we have the same squad, I think we got a good chance. I mean, even last year when we weren't on fine form, the fact that we still picked up a point at Stamford Bridge at the start of the season with that squad, and it was a mess at the start, was impressive. And I think, to be fair, both sides are different. I think Maresca's more experienced, understands his players a bit better, and I think Oliver Glasner understands the Premier League and the players a bit better as well. So I think it should be a good game. But I'm back, and I have to back our boys.
Come on!
I have to. You're gonna have to back yours. I mean, as I've said, we want to approach this game with the mentality of winning it.
I think you will as well, man. I don't think you'll sit back.
No, I think we will sit back. But
I think you'll sit back with the intention to counter.
Not
that's what we
do. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Which is going to be interesting, because I don't know how you lot are in terms of dependent in the transition. City struggled against that in FA Cup, and Liverpool kind of sat back against us as well in the Community Shield in the second half. So if you lot are liable in transition, then that should be interesting. But defensively, I mean, we didn't give away that many chances against Liverpool. As I said, first 10, 15 minutes, it wasn't that great. But in terms of, I think at the end of the game, I don't know how your perception is on XG, if you really care about anything like that. But I don't think Liverpool really had that much chances with all them attackers. So I think we're a good defensive side, and we've got enough to hit you on a counter. But I don't know, what's your thoughts on it?
We're pretty good at dealing with transition, to be fair. I think that's one of the reasons that we don't have fullbacks that overlap, or we haven't in the past. But what we saw in the Club World Cup, I don't know if you saw the PSG game. It was beautiful. We finally gave Gusto the license to just get up there, and we killed them. So my thing is this: if Palace are going to go and put players forward, and there's spaces in behind, I would love to see overlapping fullbacks. And I think that would be great. But at the same time, there's another part of me which is going, well, it might not be as sexy to watch, but if we are just going to break you down and hope for a moment of magic with, João Pedro or someone just pulling out a moment, then we have got players capable of doing it. We tend to start well from what we've seen under Maresca. We had a pretty good start to the campaign up until December before, although I say that we lost our opening game against City. And obviously it's a home game as well. And so we've played a couple of pre-season games. We beat Leverkusen, we beat Milan. The football's really flowing. It's free flowing, it's controlled, but it's not slow. It's not lethargic. The big issue that a lot of Chelsea fans will say is when we have the ball and we don't look as if we're trying to do anything with it. And so as long as we've got an intention to go forward and make things happen, I think we'll be fine. So my front three, I think we'll have Neto, I think we'll have João Pedro, and then I think Jamie Gittins will start as well. Gittins, he loves to take players on. So he will be dribbling, he'll have a crack. Probably more direct than Madueke. I think that's probably the best way I can describe it. Looks a little bit raw, but not too much. And then Pedro Neto was our best player in the Club World Cup. He was our best player, finally adding goals and assists to his game as well. And I think João Pedro probably helps. So even though we got Esteval, who looks really good as well, I'd still start Pedro Neto, and then we'll probably have Esteval coming on. Palmer, he's going to start. And then I think you'll just see classic Fernandes and Caicedo in there. Our biggest weakness at the moment is probably the centre-backs and arguably the goalkeeper. I mean, everyone knows Sanchez has got a mistake in him. So I'm trying to think who could start. It would be probably Chalobah and Tosin. Fofana's in contention. If one of those players isn't feeling particularly great, that's where you can cause us some issues. But even Sanchez, mate, like I mentioned him, his distribution is actually really improved. So we're showing more of a flexibility to go long. So I feel great about Palace from your perspective. I feel like you've got a lot to offer, but I just think that we are riding that wave. So I've got to go 2-1, mate. 2-1 for me. I think Gittins gets on the score sheet, and I think João Pedro gets on the score sheet as well.
I think 2-1's a prediction to Chelsea. To be fair, if I wasn't backing the boys, I would say 2-1 Chelsea as well. I could see something like that happening. But I have to. So I'm going to say 2-1 Palace. But as I said, I think you've got great players. I think defensively, maybe one or two injuries, it doesn't really help your cause. But Chelsea this year, I mean,
I don't think we'll win the title, man. I don't think
you're winning the title, but I think you should be more consistent than you were last year. I think last year you just dropped off. But then again, that's very impressive in itself as well. You say you're not winning the title, but
I think we'll probably finish second or third. I think that's where we'll finish.
Is that bad? I mean,
it's an improvement.
Yeah, it's an improvement. And Liverpool, by the way, watch out. I think they've got a fantastic attack, but defensively, they've got liabilities and they need defenders. Liverpool fans are saying that as well. Arsenal, we'll see what happens with them. But Liverpool, I think they're favourites, but I don't think Chelsea are crazy levels behind considering what you done last year at some points of
Yeah.
the season. So yeah, I think you need to start the season strong, ideally, and you need to beat us if you want to go for like the title. I think you should start the season with the ambitions of a title until you literally can't win it. So yeah, if you start with like a draw or loss, I don't think that would be the greatest look. But then again, as I said, we've only lost 5 games in 2025, so we want to probably keep up the good record as well. So let's see, let the best team win. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the new season starting because there's been so much drama off the pitch. I'm just tired of hearing. I'd rather talk about what's on the pitch.
You're going to the game?
Unfortunately, I can't make it. I can't make it for the game. So
hey,
yeah,
I'll be watching that.
Yeah. So it should be.
It's a half. No, it's not 12:30, is it? It's 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 o'clock kickoff. So let's see. I think Arsenal are playing United that day as well. So
yeah, that's just after. I mean, for me, the main thing is looking at the games we couldn't win last season and just saying, right, can we turn it around? Against the bigger teams, I actually don't really feel that nervous. It's against the Palaces, the Brentford. I mean, Brentford will be a walk in the park. Bournemouth, those teams. Those are the ones that I'm thinking, right, what are we going to do here? Because we struggled against low blocks, man. But hey, I'm feeling good. But listen, D, really appreciate you coming on, mate. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to D's channel, there is a link in the description. It's Back of the Nest. And listen, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Really appreciate your time, mate. Thanks for coming on. And